dig back with some more Griffventures of Griff. So there he goes with the split, and I think he takes the lead. Nope, doesn't. Does not quite beat the split. Up against CamMan. CamMan? 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 I'll stop worrying about it. CamMan. That's going to be hard to say. So, this game... basically, here's how it works. Griff likes a couple games, and whenever he plays one that he thinks is really good, and then he uploads it to a folder, and then I grab that folder, and I just have a folder of some games, and they're all named things that he has pointed out. This is a game. The title of this one, it makes a bit more sense the more I think about it. But at the time, it didn't make sense, and it's just called DT Drop on a Lazy Raven. And the first thing that came to my mind was DTs can't attack ravens, so what's going on there? But the more I think about it, it seems like maybe he DT drops and there's a raven right there that doesn't ever get to detecting them, even though it's really close. So we'll see how we do. Right now, Griff not producing anything. Neither of them producing anything. Griff getting stuck in that. Oh, right. I'm going to scout his base, find no gas. I'm doing awesome. Meanwhile, I haven't built a probe in 20 seconds. And manages to sneak out without dying. Awesome. However, his worker supply is ahead. I do the same thing. I drop probes all the time. Don't worry about it. I'm trying to, be nice at the same time. And here we go with the totally epic... oh my... What? What just happened there? So he decides probably to put in... there we go. Sneaky pylon in the gold. So we can make sure that he knows when the gold's going to get taken. Simple enough. Good stuff. I like it. It's a good plan. So, next, he might move up here and take the... look at the scout. Awesome. Good stuff. Up against the Terran, so we're not going to bother walling in, because you only do that against the Zerg, or if you're really paranoid against Protoss. I've stopped doing it myself, despite the fact that I still get the occasional Zealot cheese. And 327, Cyber Core goes down, already collecting a bit of gas. Awesome. Good stuff. He's a bit behind. Of course, he's getting more gas. He's up on Harvesters. Pretty even, mostly because he is chronoing out the first Zealot. Now, we're not on... Is it no. That's Shakura's Plateau, is it? Where are we? I don't know. I don't care. So, CamMan is basically just put... Oh my god, he's queuing up all them Marines. Getting his orbital. He's being vastly outdone by Griff here. Yeah. But at the same time, so he's getting his double gas. Not quite sure what kind of build he's going to go for here, because he's not even moving this. He's just queuing up Marines out of one barracks, not even making a second one. Meanwhile, Griff's coming in. He's got 2 units ready to go. Managing to not pylon block himself, which is good. Not really producing any units at the moment, but fast. Twilight. Oh. Probably because, so 1 gate into Twilight. Here's the build here. That's intriguing, but at least he's keeping his resources down. He's using up quite a number of his gas to do that. He could probably use a bit more in the way of probes, and he's definitely got a chrono booster too. And then a second gateway, which works. Meantime, there we go, the push with 5 Marines. Now, I don't think he's even scouted, so he decides, so CamMan decides to come down and just go straight to the middle. There we go. Takes the tower, and moves on.
SCV ready.
Griff still, this is pretty much his most forward item, which is probably going to be the source of where, since we do know the DTs are coming. Oh, he's getting a sentry. He doesn't usually do a lot of sentry play. There goes CamMan. Scouting at 6 minutes with 5 Marines seems a bit weird. Now tell me he has it. No. Nothing. So he's just doing supply depots. and one... Oh, well, he's got this factory with a tech lab so that he can produce nothing out of it. Griff's got a small force at the moment. He's pretty near saturated. Here's where the units come in. Take down one, manages to get a couple more units in. Some more zealots. Nah, not so sure about zealots against marines, but forces that off. Aims for zealot charge, probably a good way to go, even though... Yeah, zealot charge is kind of useful against marines, but it's usually better against things like marauders, because they... But I don't think Griff's detected any kind of tech. I'm pretty sure he's still... Yeah, he's only looking at a main barrier. I mean, not that he has much more than that, but tanks are going to be coming in. Tanks and siege tech, so he's going to be up against some siege techs in a moment, but he's definitely got the army advantage and the worker advantage. Pulling out an expo, just, you know, pretty decent decision to make against the initial push. Once you force off push, then yeah, you can push out and do a little bit more. Zealot charge is about done. He's on 3-gate Twilight Council. Sure, why not? Could use another probe or two, but they're both coming in. There we go with the D-Apollo patented bottom of the ramp wall in. A couple more units. Well, with the tank turtle over here. What is? It's just so slow. I can't complain. My game's really slow too. Maybe if it's too slow, then I can always just speed it up. But I don't feel like it. Griff was sort of staying on top and doing pretty well, but I feel he is getting mildly outdone with a bit. He's losing sort of the catch-up game. So I think CamMan's main plan here was, oh, finally a second Varus. I was about to say it seemed to be mostly tech play, and he was just, you know, kind of phoning in the marine pressure. But as it appears, he has finally decided he wants a second barracks. Holy God. Griff putting down his Dark Shrine. In the back. Oh, Heidi. That's a good idea there. 2 more gateways at the bottom of the ramp. He's got his forge ready just in case he needs some cannons. Vehicle weapons, and yet he's making more barracks. So he has one factory. CamMan has one factory, but he's working on vehicle weapons. Got siege tech. Didn't siege up. Why not? So I guess he's going to try to drop his supply depots and then push up with that. That's one way to go. Ground weapon 1. Griff could probably use a little bit of gas if he's going to use that. Well, actually, no, he's not hurting for gas just yet, so it's probably best. It's a good idea to stick on minerals only for the first little bit of it until he starts to get a bit lower in gas, but of course the minerals need to outweigh, because yeah, it's the exact same. So he will not, if he's focused on Dark Templar or any other non-High Templar unit, which would be the only gas-intensive one, then he shouldn't run out of gas just yet. Although, he'll want some soon. I think, though, yep, as far as worker supply goes, he's quite a bit ahead. Finally, and also a starport coming down. So I would say, oh, and CamMan getting a little sneaky base down here. I think what Griff's done is he's built himself a solid base. CamMan is going to realize that he cannot reinforce at quite the speed that he wants to. He only has 4 production buildings right now. It's a ridiculous amount of money. Look at him. I mean, he should have 3, 4 barracks up by now. 2 factories if he wants to go that way. If he wants to push out some siege tech. He's just getting a couple of siege tanks in a row. There's the turtle. All in trouble. And here come the DTs. And what are they up against? Well, nothing coming to the starport just yet. DTs move over. They do not see any expansion, so 5 DTs. Not quite sure what he's up to here. He seems to be waiting. We're just missing it. Ah, warp prism coming in. I'm not sure why he didn't do a little bit of harassment. You could probably take just one of them up to the top there. Chooses not to. Maybe he's going to try to get the warp prism over and lift the Dark Templar up to the top. What do we have here? Ground armor 1. Vehicle weapons 2, so these be 2-0. No upgrades at all to the barracks, except we are managing to get combat shield. Fair enough. Again, focusing pretty heavily. Oh, here comes a Raven. So he's got Raven, Tank, Marine. Hey, look! A reactor on his first barracks at 14 minutes in. Yeah! So there we go. He did decide to do that. So we lifted them up. Didn't lift up the 5th one. The 5th one's just gonna wait a minute. Where'd that Raven at? So there they are. They can get confiscated. Or scan sweeped. Yeah, scanner sweep. Chooses not to sweep. Might have got a sweep. Ah, and there's the Raven. So the Raven can see them. But the Raven stays down there. Then of course, Griff chooses to bring the GTs in within the Ravens. Ah, there goes the Raven. Over there towards the army. They go to protect them from the Dark Templar who are destroying CamMan's base. Really? Does he not realize that he can view that? But it's okay, CamMan decides to go for the base race. Because, you know, if you're a Terran, you can lift everything off. Now. There it is. Okay, now we're protecting from a couple of the Dark Templar. He's going to move his army down here and then wait some more. Float a couple of his buildings. Dark Templar still sitting over here. Griff, in the middle of this, has cleverly been working on his other army, sort of a backup army, if you will. Probably could have been working on a little bit more of the background. Yeah, he could definitely use some income. Of course, he's destroying. He's destroying CamMan in terms of macro. Anyway. Certainly been dropping on the bombs a fair amount. Here they come. Here comes some tanks and the rest of the units. A little bit of a worry. This would be a good time for some DTs against these, but I suppose there is a Raven there, so... He does have an Immortal. There we go. It's in a couple of DTs and a couple of Zealots. And just, bad time. And now they finally siege up. But charge lots. The Immortal is not quite down here because I think the Immortal got stuck. Griff makes short work of that. These DTs over here are still doing quite well. Oh! Fuck GG is a new one. Well, alright. Griff played a pretty decent game there. Probably could have had a bit quicker of a win because this guy really did not know what he was doing. I like the addition of a few more gateways down here, the addition of a Robo Bay, got the Dark Shrine slightly tucked in here. Now the problem there is that usually a Terran will try and scan a Nexus, so maybe Dark Shrine over here, or somewhere just in between, like here. They don't usually scan your ramp, because if they scan a natural, then they'll probably scan down here. This is pretty much where everyone usually puts their bases, but as far as hiding things, maybe down there or over here at the right-hand side. Ooh, there's a good spot for a Dark Shrine. But then again, it'd probably get scoped. I don't know where a good spot is for a Dark Shrine. But it seemed to work, because aside from the fact that he heard a Raven, CamMan was absolutely not prepared for that. And there is the bad news. Yeah. Bad news is that he was vastly outdone. Units killed. There it is. Control R. Control R. Workers killed. 17. That was that push with the DTs. That went quite well. So, another group venture of Griff. Leave a comment. Send me an email, ziggyzig@gmail.com, or follow me on Twitter @ZiggyStarcraft. Plenty more where this came from. Stay tuned.